This kind of sums up everything about Celtic this season. Martin O'Neill, only 4 days ago, talking about Kasper Schmeichel.
Casper.
And Casper's he's much better now. He doesn't feel he trained today, and he didn't feel his shoulder is feeling much better after the injection.
Are we expecting him to be in the squad then for tomorrow's game?
I'll have a look at that and see.
In terms of Callum, is it?
Interesting. That was the manager talking before the game at the weekend against Motherwell. Manager Martin O'Neill thought Kasper Schmeichel was going to be back in the team, or he said he was. What are Celtic hiding? Did Martin O'Neill know? This opens up lots more questions because last night Kasper Schmeichel announced on television, as you do. No, never mind telling the Celtic fans. He went to a Champions League game and he went on telly with his dad to basically, is this disrespect to Celtic fans and Celtic as a whole this season? It opens up so much more questions on how long he's known, how long the coaching staff have known, and what really is going on at Celtic this season. But let's give Kasper his moment. And it is unfortunate that a player will not see out his career the way that he wants to, but it does ask a lot more questions. This was Kasper Schmeichel last night.
And Kasper, obviously you got a more serious injury. I mean, you've been told something yesterday, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I was told. I was at a specialist yesterday. That basically, I'm going to need 2 surgeries now to fix my shoulder, which is it's a bit of a body blow. It's basically I've torn the bicep, torn the rotator cuff, dislocated the shoulder, torn the labrum. Everything's kind of gone, and to maybe put it into terms that you can understand is like an outfielder doing their ACL and their Achilles at the same time. So it's looking like 10 to 12 months of rehab. So it's been a strange few days.
Kasper,
10 to 12 months. Sorry, go on.
Well,
Kate.
I was going to say you're smiling, but how do you really feel about that?
No, listen, it's one of those. I was told yesterday, and I don't really know. I don't really know anything right now in the sense of you don't really know how to react to this because I could have potentially played my last ever football game, and I've been a footballer since the day I was born, and that kind of thought is it's devastating. It's very, very hard to wrap my head around at the moment.
I could feel when we was by the pitch. So me and you, Peter, we was looking out and just admiring the players. Mm-hmm. But you was looking at it differently. You wanted to be out there on the grass, didn't you?
It was a tough night because we stood there having a look at I was looking at the keepers warm up and thinking that I might never get to do that again, and that for me was So in that sense, it was a tough night, and very, very emotional. As much as you guys have been nice, I haven't enjoyed a single minute of it in that sense because it's you're looking at what could be waiting for you, and not that it's not good in other ways, but it's I like I say, I've been a footballer ever since I can remember, and to think that might not be able to do that again is that's a tough
but
one.
you've always been a fighter, haven't you? Even back in the academy days when you come and the competition, you've always, really took it head on. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say for sure. I mean, right now, I got the message yesterday that, that it could potentially be the end of my career, and because of my age, by the time I could get back fit, I'd be plus 40, which at the moment, I've lived through this generation. I grew up watching guys that played football for with their hearts, and you played through injury. I've played through countless injuries, and now my mind is kind of like, okay, I'm going to give it absolutely everything I can to see if I can get back. It would be probably one of the greatest feats of my career if I could ever get back from an injury like this, and I'm going to fight. I'm going to try everything. I'm going to do everything I can, do the rehab. But right now, surgery next Friday, and that's going to be the first surgery, and then the big one will be whenever the surgeons say.
Guys,
it's interesting because obviously Kasper Schmeichel, I don't know if he's been like Joe Hart, and over the last couple of years he's kept his family down south, and he's just came back up to Scotland to train, stay, and play football. But it seems a little bit strange from a Celtic's perspective. Celtic are his current employers. It does seem strange that he had decided to go down to Manchester last night and tell everybody after a Manchester Champions League game. It's a strange one. I mean, we do wish Casper the best, but there is so many questions. When did he first know, and when did the injury first happen? What was the first part of the injury? Because you've got to remember that Kasper Schmeichel said in the Stuttgart game, something smashed. Before the Stuttgart game, we all knew that Kasper wasn't diving to his left. This isn't something new that's just kind of crept up and been one massive injury. This has been a continuation of playing through several weeks. He's admitted that himself, he plays through injuries. Ultimately, he has cost Celtic points over the course of the season as a goalkeeper with his inability. And you know, I had put my hands up. I wanted Kasper out. I wanted him out since the beginning of the season. I wanted him out last season when Sinisalo was far better. And it goes back to last season. Wasn't he out with his shoulder last season? Towards the end of the season, wasn't that the injury that kept him out then? And Sinisalo came in and was the better keeper. And it's not a dig at Schmeichel, and you know, people decide to play through injuries and whatnot, but has he ultimately cost Celtic a place in a further stage in Europa? He's definitely cost us league points. We know this. You know, there's no use going over old ground, and you know, you feel sorry for the lad that he's. We all thought that he was going to leave Celtic and go and play football somewhere else. I will say that. I never thought it was going to be the end of his career completely. So you've got to have a bit of humility about you, and you've got to have a little bit of, you know, sorry mate, that your career's pretty much done and dusted. It's one thing not wanting him to be in a Celtic team. Many fans did. Do you know, many fans wanted him out the team because he wasn't performing. And I think the question should be and there's one thing that is now sticking in the throat of Celtic fans. Was Wilfred Nancy right about the goalkeeping coach Stevie Wood's situation? Was he hiding the fact that Kasper Schmeichel was injured, carrying a little niggle, the fact that he needed an injection to try and see him through? That leaves even more questions to be asked, answered. They won't be. Do you know, Martin O'Neill will take to the press conference on Friday. Did Martin O'Neill know that the player was going down to Manchester last night? Will Kasper Schmeichel even be back in Glasgow again between now and the end of the season? Do you know, but players, once they go out and go and get an operation, they tend not to come back to the club. Will we even see Kasper in Glasgow again? Is one question. It is a sad day for him. Let's finish off the interview, listen to a bit more about Kasper.
Can I jump in real quick and just ask Terry to jump in?
No, I just wanted to wish Kasper all the very best. Obviously, I never had to deal with this type of situation in my career. But, you know, hopefully things will be okay that you know, I'm not going there, but because you were saying it might be your last warm-up, might have been your last game, you know, hopefully you're going to have the possibility to stop football on your term. That's all I wish you. But I wanted to ask something to Uncle Pete. How do you feel as a dad?
Yeah, no, Kasper used the word devastating. So if you think about how my life has been, my full career as a professional football player has always been with Kasper. Kasper's always been there for me. He was actually born on the day where the club that I joined to become a full-time professional football player qualified for the quarterfinals in the Champions League, and that would then be my first game ever. So all of the way throughout my career, he's been there. And I've tried to do exactly the same for him. So whatever situation he was facing, I tried to be there as a father, as a dad. I don't want this to end with an injury like that. I think that he broke his shoulder in a game a year ago playing for Denmark against Portugal. We used all 5 subs.
Whoa, wait a minute. He broke his shoulder a year ago. We never knew that he broke his shoulder, so that's what kept him out towards the end of the season. Wow. It just gets worse at Celtic, doesn't it?
It was a quarter-final of the Nations League. He carried on playing, made one good save, but of course you can't play with a broken shoulder. He did so and was out for a very short period of time, took the rehab, but in the period after, shoulder injury for a goalkeeper, I mean, you can't imagine how bad that is. Every time you dive to that side, you land on it. So having to manage that period after and doing what you kind of don't want, your son to do, take the injections, play with all the pain. And then, of course, we ended up with this is now 3 or 4 weeks ago. You played against Stuttgart and landed really, really badly on it, had another injection. Of course, that sparked a reaction that we don't want. And then, of course, having that really, really bad news yesterday, because this is seriously bad. Obviously I'm in practical mode now. What can I do to help Kasper? What can we do? How can we practically get rehab organized? Everything. But of course, emotionally, that's going to hit you in a couple of days when you think, whoa, Kasper's career might just be over.
Might just be over. Why didn't the Celtic manage this so much better? We've had Sinisalo at the club for a while now. And from purely a Celtic's perspective here, we knew that Kasper had that shoulder injury a year ago, and he was out towards the end of the season. He came back for the cup final. Ultimately, I think he cost us the cup final. Many fans would say that. Even myself, I thought that it was unfair on Sinisalo at the time to be out. He had a fantastic end to the season, Sinisalo, and I thought it was unfair of Kasper to walk straight back into the team and for the cup final. And many people will say, like, he'd done it all season, he'd done it for us, it was right that Kasper came in. But you've got to take on the fact that he had been out injured. When you talk about game time and all the rest of it, the downfall of Scottish football is there is no reserve league, so you can't put a keeper out in a couple of reserve games just to test them out first. You've got to put them straight in. There's more questions than comes to answers with this, because it then now says, should we reinstate the reserve league, do away with the Lowland League, because that's completely ridiculous and it's completely irrelevant when it comes to the progression of players at Celtic Football Club. There is now so many questions that this one little situation could unfold at Celtic as a club going forward. Whilst you feel for Kasper and you feel for his dad, Peter, obviously dads do what dads do, don't they? They just go into let's sort it mode.
So that, and I just wanted to, because you battled with injuries and you try to come back, how bad, I don't know, for lack of a better word, how bad is that to end up like that?
Yeah.
Or end your career like that, sorry.
It's difficult, because I remember when I got my first operation, and then the agility when I come back wasn't the same. You adapt, as we all do, and you have to do, but I knew I wasn't going to be the same player again. It's a little bit different for you because you're at the end of your career, but you still got something to give, but you've had a marvellous career already. But I did it so young. And then it's
How
just...
old were you?
Well, my first operation was when I was 17.
You're kidding me.
17, and then I had another one at 19. So I knew it was going to be difficult for me. But it's just the headspace of, can you get back? And the emotion, you need emotional support, because it's difficult.
It is difficult.
But that's why I said before, knowing Kasper from the academy when he was at Man City, he's got that fighting spirit. He's got the energy to do it. You got that professionalism to do it as well. And I just, you'll be fine.
Oh, and listen, I'm going to try. Like I say, we've all played with injuries. I had 3 screws in my knee at 16, and I've played all the way through, played more than 900 games with it. And, like I said, I've come through the old school where you play through injuries. And, I felt in a game probably about 6 weeks ago, I dislocated it. And, like an idiot, I was just thinking, these World Cup qualifiers for Denmark, I've got to get there. So I took the injections, took the pills to numb the pain, and tried to get through it. But at this point, the consultant asked me if I was all right in the head. You
asked him, "Are you crazy?"
He said, "His words were, 'Are you all right in the head?'" But You know, but that's so football means everything to me. It's been my whole life. It's been my whole identity. So, yeah, there's a lot of things right now to kind of try and wrap my head around. But yeah, emotions are kind of all over the show at the moment. But yeah, it's trying to keep my mind busy.
Come on, let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Come on.
Yeah, I can't even hug with this side though.
Come on.
So I'm going to leave you like this.
Yes, yes.
Do you know what's really sad about this situation?
I actually can't lift it.
I've been wanting to hug him all day yesterday.
A battle.
Guys, we're
Kate,
yes,
back to you.
on that note.
Do you know what's really sad about this situation? And I know that he was down at Manchester watching Man City, but not one mention of Celtic. Not one mention. Just think about that and try and have a fantastic day wherever you are all around the world.